Okay, hope everybody can hear me now. Hey, y'all. Hey, this is Lydia Ford. I help people who are stuck in grief to get unstuck. Today is December. Where are we now? Are we on the 18th? Must be because next Sunday is Christmas already. Can you believe it? I can't. Next Sunday is Christmas. And hopefully, I will be spending Christmas with my loves, my beloveds up in cold Connecticut. I just pray in the name of Jesus we have good weather while I'm there. You just never know about Connecticut, the great Northeast. Well, today we are talking about a kind of like a topic that we kind of ended with on last Wednesday. And I didn't put too much info in the topic on Facebook today because I think it's just going to kind of unfold. Um, and I don't want to get too deep into this area because sometimes it's a really difficult topic to talk about. It's like a topic that most people in Christendom don't want to talk about, don't want to deal with. Um, but the mere fact that I'm dealing with it lets me know that I need to deal with it. I need to talk about it. Because last time we were talking about loneliness and how sometimes it's, Christian men and women, single and married, can be around a lot of people, can be with people, and still be out of touch with them, can still be lonely. And so I think I piggyback off of what I talked about on last Wednesday. And I I probably just scratched the surface because I know a man, I know a guy, I know a man, I know an anointed man, I know an anointed man of God that deals with this subject matter way more than I could ever deal with it, with more expertise than I could deal with it. And that's my friend, Prophet Dr. Pastor Byron Harden from his ministry is called Clarity Unleashed. And he talks exclusively uh, about marriage, about dating, about singleness. He talks about it all the time. Matter of fact, there were two times when I was back in Connecticut. Good morning, Hazel. There were two times when I was back in Connecticut, I had him as my guest speaker for my BFF, Building Fruitful Friendships conference. And he came and he tore the place up. There were about 100 and some people there, mostly women, but some men also were in the audience. But he clearly talked about the fact that marriage is the heart of God. It is not God's heart that man or woman be alone. The Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. Well, it's not good for a woman to be alone as well, unless that's her desire, unless she's wired that way. And, because it's profitable to be single as a woman, because then you can give your time, your attention to doing things for the Lord. So there are some women that will never marry because they don't want to be. And that's okay. It's really okay for a woman to remain single. That gives her more time to spend with the Lord, to do the Lord's work, or to work on herself. And the problem with some of us is that we need to work on ourselves because we are not the greatest prospects, even if we are tongue talking, floor walking, shouting, preaching, praising women of God. Sometimes we can be hard. We can be hard to take, and we can be hard to date. We can be hard to get to know. And I guess that's why I'm back here talking about loneliness. I'm back here talking about relationships, especially among Christian a Christian community, Christian women, because I'm called to women. I've been involved in women's ministry for probably close to 40 years, maybe not quite 40, but I know it's 35 or more. Okay. In the 1994, some way back then, I was in women's ministry. And I found that, first of all, like a lot of Christian women hide behind a facade. They wear masks. So sometimes it's very difficult for men to discover, well, who are you? Who are you today? Who are you? Sister Watermelon, Sister Cantaloupe? Who are you today? Shaquita, Juanita, Makita? Who are you today? Because we hide behind Christianity. This is early morning tea. I'm gonna sip on that one. We hide behind religion. We hide behind Christianity. We wear a facade. We put on a mask. So men that approach us maybe sometimes are not seeing the real you. They're not getting to know the real you because we wear a facade. We mask who we are. We pretend to be somebody that we really are not. And so when they find out who we really are, they back up and like say, whoa, where did that come from? I thought you were so and so and so and so and so. Okay. And not only do women wear a mask, you already know that men wear a mask too. They can be two-timing you. Oh my God. They can be fronting you. They can be playing you. You know all the acronyms that women can use about men. I don't care if you do wear a robe. I don't care if your name is apostle. I don't care if your title is prophet, bishop, evangelist, whatever, deacon. Come on, somebody. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Men wear masks too. All right. Sometimes they gaslight, pretenders. So it goes both ways. All right. Under the banner of Christianity, under the banner of singleness, under the banner of marriage. Because all married people do not faithfully stay committed to that covenant of marriage. Women can have somebody on the side, and men can have a side chick too. All right, or three and four, and they don't even feel anything about that. They don't feel nothing about that. They don't feel any remorse about that. Okay, but today, good morning, Minister Sheila, Dr. Maya. We're going to talk about dating, Christian dating. Okay. I was married for 37 years. Listen, I met my husband when I was 18 years old. My first day on a college campus is when I met my husband. Did I know he was going to be my husband? I didn't know. He approached me. I wasn't looking for no man. I came to get an education, and my mother told me, you got 4 years to get out, and because that's all they was going to be paying for. All right. I was serious about this thing, about my education. Didn't go there to get involved. I really never dated in high school. I didn't go to any of my prom, whether it was the junior or the senior prom. I did not go. Okay. And I didn't date on campus. And when my husband, Mr. Ford, and Tom came up to me, I was reading something, information about registration on the board outside of, we called it Balk Hall. It was the administration. But I'm thinking about him. He came over to me and introduced himself to me. And I said hi and all of that. I came and did what I needed to do, and I left. And then subsequently, while I was still in the first quarter, I guess you could call it, the first semester on Cobleskill Ag and Tech's campus, I would be walking to my class and he would see me and he would make a beeline over to come and speak to me and talk to me. And still, I wasn't engaged in all of that because I came to get an education. I didn't come up there to meet men and boys or whatever. Boys that were trying to become men, I wasn't into all of that. But eventually, I said eventually, he wore me down. Okay. He wore me down. And we became best friends. That's how it starts. It should start like that. We became one another's best friends. He came from a Christian family. I came from a Christian family. I found him to be an honorable person, trusting, caring, loving person, and likewise, he found me to be a loving, caring, kind, trustworthy, loyal person. All right. And we dated each other exclusively. All right. 2 years. Well, he was a year ahead of me. At first, I went to a 2-year college, so he was a year ahead of me. So he graduated ahead of me, and then after I graduated, I went to Stony Brook University in Long Island, New York, and so we were separated. He was actually working in my hometown of Schenectady. We were friends. We dated all through college, those first 2 years. Then we separated, and the way we got back together again was not a very pretty story because my oldest brother died. He got killed in a car accident. And I was on Stony Brook campus, which I did not like. It was a huge school. It was not what I was used to. It was just too big. And my heart was, we were still talking. We were still long distance dating. That's a hard thing. And my brother died. And Tom decided to go back and get his bachelor's degree in account and business management, I think it was. And so he wound up at Oneonta State University. And I wound up going to Oneonta. I left Stony Brook. I only stayed a semester. And then I enrolled at Stony Brook University again. Too, also. And so then that brought us back together again. And he graduated a year ahead of me again, because he's a year ahead of me. I graduated in 1974. And guess what? We got married in September of 1974. So to be very honest with you, I did not do a lot of dating. I didn't. I just didn't, that wasn't the thing. I didn't want to do a lot of dating. I was very careful who I talked to. And when I met Tom Ford, I fell in love with Tom Ford. I dated him exclusively while I was in college. Now, there were a couple guys when I was at Stony Brook that were trying to get my attention. They were vying for my attention, but nah, Tom Ford had my heart. And I believe I had his heart. So he didn't date nobody. I didn't date nobody. And we got together. And when I graduated in 1974, we got married. And we stayed married and committed and loyal to one another. Was it all gravy and all good times? Good time. Not all the time. But some good came out of our marriage, our relationship. We always remained best friends. And we had 2 children out of that relationship. And as our covenant vows, we took very seriously. It was only until death do us part. And that's what parted my husband and I. And I have been single now for 12 years. I dated once. I dated somebody. We became friends. Well, we knew each other. We were friends. But it didn't, and we dated a couple of years too, but it didn't end in anything permanent. And because that individual didn't want anything permanent. See, I don't just be dating because I just want to casually date. I have to date with purpose in mind because I'm a woman of purpose. God's called me for a specific purpose. And so when the 2 ideas or the purposes didn't mesh together, then I had to, go on about my business. And so I'm going to talk about dating, and I'm not going to talk about, let me just be very honest with you. It's very difficult for women, Christian women, especially those of us that have been called by God to the one of the 5-fold ministries, as an apostle or as a prophet, as an evangelist, as a pastor, teacher. Y'all don't understand. It's very hard, especially if you are single, because people have you under a microscope. People are looking to judge. People are looking to get all in your business. People can become jealous. And so a lot of us that are a part of the fivefold ministry gifts, we have to keep our business, keep our dating, keep our relationships to ourselves. And sometimes we can self-sabotage our own self. It's not even the other people that come in the mix and get all up in your business. Sometimes, we scrutinize the person that we think we might want to date, or the one that we are dating. We scrutinize them so much. We judge and we criticize them so much because of the sometimes the facade that we still wear, the mask we have. And sometimes we criticize and judge so harshly because of the mantle that's on us. We want to make sure that we know that we're dating somebody that's a fit, that has godly principles, and a man of God or a woman of God, that's on the other side too, because it's two sides of the same coin. We want to make sure that we're doing, the best that we can to respect and honor God. So a lot of times we can't just share stuff. We can't be, talking about, oh, I'm dating Bishop so-and-so, and he took me here, and look at this, and look at the ring he bought, and we went on vacation. We can't. Now some do. They put this stuff out there. Oh, we're going to get married and yada, 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 yada. And the next thing you know, you broke up. Okay, I'm going to sip to that. What you thought was going to end in a marriage, in a permanent relationship, broke up. And then spilled all the tea on social media. I'm going to take 2 sips on Minister Sheila. Spilled all that tea. I got all people in your business now. And you broke up. And now what? You're going on to another relationship. Okay. And that's not the type of person I ever wanted to be. I'm 71 years old. I ain't got time for all of that. I ain't got time. So you have to be discerning. You got to be very careful. You can't just be on social media, talking about your business. I met Bishop this, and I'm apostle, my bishop so-and-so, and he introduced me to apostle Wink Martindale, and he set me up, and he got 2 churches or 3 churches, and he got a big old house in Charlotte. And wow, if I can get to know him, and if I can hook him up, I'll have it made. Hush your mouth. Sit down in your spirit. What? But that's how sometimes, we single, I'm talking about Christian folk now. I ain't talking about people out in the world. Sometimes that's how we think. All right. And we wind up broke, busted, and disgusted because, again, you done spilled the tea. You done told your besties. You done told your family. And some of the people in their congregation got the news about it too. You dating, and all it's a mess. So we got to, let me take another sip. I'm not the one to tell you all my business and put it out there, because guess what? Only God knows, all right, the plans he has for Lydia Ford, all right? He knows, all right? He knows the good, he knows the bad, he knows the upside, he knows the downside. But what I want to do is, try to be as transparent as I can and give some information. If you're out there, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and you're lonely and you don't want to be alone, you don't have to be alone. And, we all have our girlfriend circles. I have lots of circles of different types of women, and I put them in different categories because they're not all, intimately acquainted with me. I'm not telling them, sharing some things that I would share with this group. I may not share it with that group or whatever, because I learned how to be discerning. Even those that you think are your besties sometimes will tell stuff that you told them and they swore they weren't going to tell nobody. But you know what? You got it back from somebody. Okay. So you have to use discernment. All right. So let me give you these tips. And one of the things in terms of dating, Christian dating, is we kind of look negatively at dating sites. Never use them. Never, ever, ever. Probably won't even use them, ever use them. But this is something that I want us to know about those dating sites, something I found online as well. Um, I'm not going to just come out and blatantly say, don't use a dating site. Um, is that a godly way to find a spouse? I'm not going to just say no. How do I know? I don't know. Um, so when dating sites first launched, dating apps got a real bad reputation because people can put their profile up and they can say all kind of stuff in there. They can pretty it up and say that I'm the best thing since sliced bread. And, I got a six pack and I got it going. The people can mess you up by putting dishonest things on their profile. All right, just to get a hookup. All right. Um, but considering that isn't a recommended way to find love by the church, it's no wonder that Christians were deterred from using them. From the church, dating apps weren't something that they recommended or thought was a good idea. However, dating apps have evolved past their initial forms and now offer a way for singles, watch this, to connect, to date, and be upfront about what they're looking for. Mainstream apps like Bumble and Hinge and more allow for you to indicate your faith and even list it, watch this, as a deal breaker. There are dating apps that allow you to list your faith. And even on the profile, you can list it as a deal breaker. There are also new apps geared towards helping Christians find love. Now, I am not telling you one way, either or the other, because I don't use them, okay? And I probably won't ever use them. All right. You have to ask the Lord, you have to use discernment and make up your own mind if that is something you want to do, because there is an app called Christian Singles, okay? Dating apps in and of themselves aren't inherently bad. Like any other digital tool, they can be used for immoral things, but they can also be a great format to start testing the dating waters. As long as you look at them through a lens of faith, there's no reason you can't find a godly spouse. All right. I'm not advocating for it, but if that's the way you want to go, that's your business. All right. So here are some tips for dating for Christian singles. Set your expectations. Before you jump into the world of dating, figure out beforehand what are your expectations. And I would advise you to raise your expectation. All right. Do you want to casually date to get a better sense of what you're looking for? There's a lot of people just want to casually date a pool of people to see, to drill down maybe on who they really want to end up with. Or are you looking for something more serious? If you're on an app, most apps allow you to select what kind of relationship you're looking for on your profile. So if you just want casual dating, you need to put that on the profile. If you mean business, you want to find a permanent relationship, you want to end up in a monogamous permanent relationship, put that on the app. Okay, set your expectations and make it clear. Yep, me too, Dr. Maya, pass on the dating app. But here's number two: assess your motivations. Dating apps can be fun or a great tool for finding love, but it's important to check with yourself first. Are you in a good place to start dating? Forget the apps, but are you in a good place to start dating? If you're hitting the download button, watch this. If you're on the app, you're hitting the download button while you're crying over your ex and eating a pint of Ben and Jerry ice cream. You're probably not ready for a date. All right. It's probably not ready. Okay. You probably want to get back at your ex, say, I'm going to show him I can find me a date, while you're eating a whole pint of Ben and Jerry, maybe a quart of Ben and Jerry. This may be a digital platform, but there are real people on the other end of the screen. All right. You might be trying to get retribution for how your ex treated you, but understand and know, if you ain't ready to start a new relationship, if you push the download button, you might be hurting somebody else because you ain't ready. You're not healed. You're not delivered. You should not be trying to date anybody at this point. All right. So that's number two. Set your expectations high. You want to casually date people, or you want to find a permanent person. You're looking for a permanent relationship. And then assess what is your motivation for getting on the dating app. Is it to get retribution, revenge against your ex, to make him angry and second guess him leaving you or her leaving you? Come on. Number three, throw out the list. A common plague in the Christian dating world is the idea of the list. The idea that the list of attributes you wrote down in the fourth grade, in the eighth grade, in the 10th grade, and even in high school, all right, in your journal, all perfectly coexist in one person out in the world. I doubt it very seriously. I doubt that very seriously. I am all for having standards and looking for someone who has key commonalities with you, who have things in common with you. But if you have the core things that you're looking for, maybe don't swipe left on everyone who doesn't have the exact hair and eye color you're dreaming of. All right. They don't have the same type of hair, texture hair, eye color, nose, that facial, that the first contact that you look for when you meet a man. They're not rocking the six pack. Okay. All right. Get rid of the list. Listen, a lot of times Christian women tend to they're in love with titles, positions, physical attraction, and money. Titles, position, physical attraction, and money. All right. Not only that, but also white collar versus blue collar. A lot of times, Christian women won't date men that are, what do I want to call them? Well, I say blue collar mechanics, say that, bus drivers, truck drivers, janitors. Okay, y'all know what I'm saying. Let me take a sip. People that work for the post office, postal workers, meter readers, cable, they work for the cable company, those essential workers. Oh, let me help y'all. A lot of times, see, our standards are too high. Y'all not saying nothing. Why y'all ain't talking to me? We don't want to date the head janitor that works at a school or a college. We don't want to date the bus driver. We don't want to date the truck driver, okay? The essential worker. We don't want to date the cable guy. All right. We don't want to date the plumber. Y'all don't hear me. We don't want to date the person that we call on when stuff break down. Y'all don't hear me. The mechanic that fixes your car. You don't know, because you think that is a downgrade, because you want bishop. You want to be the first lady. You want to be married to the bishop, the apostle. You want to be the deaconess and all of this stuff. No, you want a position, you want a title, so you want to date up here. But wait a minute. Do you even qualify? Do you qualify to be someone worthy of dating? Okay, let me take a sip. We always want to qualify the men, but do you qualify to be someone that a man wants to date? Okay, what if they're looking at you with the same criteria? Lips, hips, and fingertips. Not all men are looking for that. They want high quality relationships too. They want women of high quality and godly character too. What if the man said, "Oh, you're a maid at the Marriott. You clean rooms at the Marriott. No, you ain't not. You not. Oh, you a cook for AT North Carolina State. You a cook. You the head cook. You're the head cook over in the college. No, I don't think I want to date her. Oh, you're an LPN. You mean it? You work at a nursing home? That is that what you do? You deal with geriatric old people, and wonder does she smell like old people when she come home? Listen, y'all don't want to hear that. Men from the north or a southern guy, yeah. Yeah, we got those criteria too. I want a gentleman, and most of the gentlemen are in the South. They were raised by godly women and men of God, and they know how to treat her like a lady. I like opening doors. We got our criteria screwed up at times. Yeah, throw out the list. Listen, your boo or your Boet or Boo, as my pastor called them, Boo and Boet. They might be a plumber. They might be a janitor. All right. They might be a mechanic. Oh my God. The list can go on. You might be passing up somebody that's a great match. That's a great guy. That's a godly man. All right. Oh, just throw out the list. All right. Throw out the list. Use your judgment. Use discernment. Listen with these. All right. Your eyes can get you in trouble too. All right. Your eyes can get you in trouble. Your ears can get, listen with these, rather, I should say. Decide what are or who are your deal breakers? What are your deal breakers? Speaking of core qualities, if faith is a deal breaker, think about using an app that is either geared toward Christians or one that allows you to include your faith on your profile. There are a lot of mainstream apps like Bumble and Hinge, etc., that allow you to filter by faith. And just don't ignore it and then get your hopes up every time you see a cute profile, only to realize your faiths don't connect. Your faiths don't match up. Number 5, don't feel obligated. Just because you're dating online doesn't mean you have to send a message to every match. If you see red flags at any point, politely end the conversation. You don't owe them a conversation or a date if you already know this ain't going nowhere. Okay? Don't feel obligated to hit, click on every match. You don't have to do that. Now, I know I'm talking about dating apps, but I'm going to get to the other side of that because, like I said, I'm not a proponent, but I'm not going to criticize. I'm not going to judge if that's what you want to do. Number 6, don't worry about the one. Oh, he the one. Oh, she the one. Don't worry about the one. There can be a lot of pressure in the Christian dating world of finding the one. I think this falls in line with the concept of the list. The one and the list, two sides of the same coin. While it's a good idea to pray and discern about serious relationships, don't get carried away thinking you should be able to know if they're right for you just from a profile. Ooh, baby. I'm going to say that again. While it's a good idea to pray and discern about serious relationships, don't get carried away thinking you should be able to know if they're the right one by just reading and looking at their profile. That is what conversation, and dating is for. It's okay to not know right away. You got to meet that person. All right. You need to date that person. It's best to talk to them on the phone or talk on a Meetup or what do they call it? Face to face. You can get on your messenger and have a video call. You need to look. We need to look. We need to hear each other talk. All right. So don't get caught up in the one. That's just like the list. Now, here's 7. Test it out. If you've been talking to a match and feel there is chemistry and potential meet in real life, dating apps are a great tool, but they aren't designed to mimic real life dates. They don't mimic real life dates. You ain't dating when you on a dating app. Come on now, Y'all got to be smarter than that. You got to face to face. If you're nervous to ask them to meet up, you can make subtle hints. Ask them their favorite coffee shop and suggest you could grab a cold brew there that week. All right, let me just say this. Let me talk about this. Because I again, just date. You ain't dating if you want a profile. Okay. Let me help y'all. No, you got to meet this joker. Hopefully he's not a joker, but you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this woman. So meet in a public place. All right. Listen, meet. Good morning, Sonia. Meet them, him, her, in a public place. And watch this. Let your BFF, let one of your girlfriends know who this man is, all right, or who this woman is, and where y'all meeting up. If necessary, especially if you're younger and you still living in your mama home and your daddy home, you better let one of them know, or at least that your big brother, big sister, somebody ought to know. You got a date. You're meeting, Jack at the cheesecake factory at 6 o'clock on a Monday night. Let somebody know where you are, and in fact, invite them to come and sit at the table, not right across from you, but somewhere in close proximity. So if something break off, you got some backup. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. There ain't no secret meeting, not in today's society. You got to let somebody know who this person is, where y'all meeting, what time, so they can dress up. I don't care if they can put on a disguise. Maybe they look too much like you. I don't care. Put on a hat, put something on, and put a wig on, whatever you got to do. Okay. And so that they show up, so that if you got to escape, there's somebody here to block it. All right. To block you. All right. All right, that's my advice. No, you ain't dating when you just on the profile. You got to show up. You got to meet in person. Don't keep score. All right, don't keep score. No matter how many dates you go on, you only end up with one winner. Don't be hard on yourself if you have a few dud dates along the way. It happens. I'm gonna say it again. No matter how many dates you go on, you only end up with one winner. But don't be hard on yourself. If you have a few duds along the way, it happens. Okay. And who knows, maybe one of your dates that isn't a romantic fit. Watch this one. Maybe one of the dates might not be a romantic date, but guess what? He would become, or she could become, a great friend. So you got to look at this. Everybody that you date don't have to wind up as Romeo and Prince, whatever, or your potential husband, your fiance. They just might wind up as a good friend, especially when you find out that you have so many things in common. All right. But maybe there's one or two things that's off, like, oh, wow, he make a good friend, but I ain't trying to marry him. I ain't trying to marry him. All right. So that happens. You can end up with a good friend, and guess what? They might introduce you to their cousin. Okay, they might introduce you to one of their player on their basketball team, their football team. All right, maybe they might introduce you to somebody that works in their office. Okay, they might introduce you to somebody that goes to their church. All right, and then so it's a win-win. All right, that's number. Don't keep score. All right, here's number 9. Do what works for you. There's always endless advice from your family, friends, and strangers on the internet about dating, but ultimately only you and God know what is right at the end of the day. As I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, I ain't judging if you decide to go on Christian Mingles or some dating site where you can profess your faith, and when you're talking, to that person over the internet, you let them know, your expectations, you let them know your deal breakers, you let them know, I'm a man of God, I'm a woman of God, talk, get it out. Communication is key. All right. And number 10, the bottom line, trust the process. God has the right person for you. There's nothing you can do to derail that or speed it up. You shouldn't be trying to derail it, and you shouldn't be trying to speed it up. Let it work. Let it go through the process, because everything is a process. Maybe your guy or your gal is on that dating app. You download it, or maybe the experience, watch this, the experience will prepare you for your coffee cup meet and greet. Either way, remember to have fun with the process and that there is no one size fits all for finding love. Again, Christian ladies, there's no one size fits all. Sometimes you, and I'm not saying, and I'm going to go on to this next part, you do not lower your standards to find a mate or find somebody to date, but be very cautious and be very careful about who y'all eliminate. Think about who you are eliminating out of the pool of prospects. Don't just eliminate the janitor. Don't just eliminate the postal clerk. Don't just eliminate the bus driver, the truck driver, the mechanics. Y'all just want to go to the top, right? And some of the most disgusting, some of the most cheaters, some of the most liars are at the top. Okay, let me take it. Okay. They done been with 10, 15, 20. They done been married 3, 4, 5 times. Some of them are home wreckers. I'm talking about the people in the church. Okay. I'm talking about people in the church, men and women in the church. So you discounting, you disqualifying godly men who have an income. Okay. They have years on the job. All right. They got 401ks. They have invested in. You don't know that the janitor is not invested in stocks. You don't know if the janitor owns land in South Dakota or in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. You don't know. But because on the profile he lists, he was honest. He wasn't faking it, trying to make it. He was honest. He was integral. He told you his background. He told you he's a Christian. He told you what church he goes. He told you he's been a janitor or he's been driving a truck for 25 years. But no, that's your expectation is up here. You don't want to date a truck driver. You don't want to date a janitor. You don't want to date a plumber. Do you know how much some plumbers make an hour? And he's been working on that job for 25 years. You don't know what his portfolio. You don't know what he got in the bank. But all of a sudden, scratch that one off. Oh no, scratch that one off. No, stop that. Get to know people before you disqualify them. And then the thing I said earlier, are you qualified? What are you qualified for? Are you qualified? Would you want to do, ladies, Christian ladies, would you want to do to men? Would you want men to do that to you? You a secretary? I don't want no secretary. You're a nurse's aide at in a hospital or at a convalescent. You just I don't want her. She got. You mean to tell me you got two kids already? You've been raising 2 kids? Oh, no, I ain't dating her. Because you know what? It can go both ways. It can go both ways. And so what am I? Because you may not be on a professional level, you might not be making $100,000 or $75,000, $50,000, but you might be making $40,000. Does that disqualify you from finding a good man today, a Christian man? See, you got to set your own expectation. You got to lift yourself up. You got to make yourself you have to promote yourself. You have to make yourself sound like I am the best thing since sliced bread. I might be not making $100,000, but I make a great friend. See, we got to kind of, and I'm not saying lower your expectation, lift yourself up because you are somebody in Christ. He designed you. He made you. He fashioned you. And just like it says in Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone. It's not good for women to be alone either. It goes both ways. All right. So here's some more things, and some of them will overlap. First of all, it's important to remember that your identity and your worth aren't based on your relationship status. Your identity is not based on whether you're single, whether you're a widow, whether you're a single mother, whether you are married. All right. It's about your identity in Christ. and the fact that you are somebody in Christ. Okay. Um, your identity is based on relationship with God. You are a beloved child of God, and He has a plan and a purpose for your life. Jeremiah 29:11. We say that more than the law should allow, but it's still true. Don't let the pressure of finding a partner make you feel anxious or insecure. Trust in God's timing and guidance and seek His will for your life. Be somebody that's already qualified out of the box. You got a relationship with the Lord. You know the plan and the purpose that He has for your life. Your identity is not fixated to uh, um, who what you've lost in the past, okay? Whether it's people, places, or things, your purpose, your identity is found in Jesus Christ. You are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works. Okay? You are valued. You are the treasure. Okay? You're the treasure. You're the gift that men are trying to find. You are the treasure, all right? So don't let the pressure of finding a partner make you get anxious or insecure. Trust God's timing, all right? Pray and seek His face. Be someone that's qualified right out of the box. Second, it's wise to be intentional and discerning about dating choices. Don't settle for less than God's best for you. And what that person makes and the type of job he has is not something that should disqualify him for being God's best for you. Okay. That should not just because he's not making $200,000, $300,000 because he doesn't have a title and a high position in corporate or even in Christendom. All right. Don't settle for less than God's best for you, and don't compromise your faith or values for the sake of a relationship. Look for someone who shares your beliefs, your goals, and your vision, and who will support you in your spiritual growth. You know what? Iron sharpens iron. So it's good to find somebody that you're compatible with, but also there should be areas in that person's life, whether male or female, that that supersedes, that's a little above you, so that they pull you up. All right. Same thing with the woman. There may be some strength that the woman has that man may not have, but she can pull you up. Iron sharpens iron. And your ultimate goal is to be better. To if you're in a relationship, you date, the ultimate goal is for you to mature, okay? To be better than you were when you first came into that relationship. If someone is not making you better, then you just need to call it a day. All right? You need to call it a day. All right. Again, don't settle for less than God's best for you. Don't compromise your faith or your values for the sake of staying in a relationship. Look for somebody that shares your beliefs, your goals, and your vision, that supports you spiritually. They bring you closer to the Lord. If they are not bringing you closer to the Lord, dump them, dump her, get rid of them. Adios, amigo. No, they should be bringing you into a closer relationship with the Lord. All right, here's number 3. Third, it's helpful to be proactive and positive about your dating opportunities. So don't limit yourself to a narrow pool of potential partners, but be open to meeting new people and exploring different avenues. You can join a Christian dating site. We just talked about that. But other than that, which I said, I'm not judging if that's what you want to do. But other than that, there are other places and other ways you can meet people, meet Christian people, attend a church event or a group, join them in, well, I see. In some churches, they have women's ministry, men's ministry. Sometimes they do events together, all right? But there are other ministries in the church. There are events that churches put on all the time. And some churches do focus on dating, and, they do focus on single ministries and married couple ministries. And so go to one of their events, all right? That way you can see somebody eyeball to eyeball, all right? You can have a conversation. With a volunteer for a ministry or a cause, or ask your friends or family to introduce you to someone. Ask your friends or family to introduce you to someone. These are just some other ways, other than the dating site, to meet qualified, and I'm gonna keep saying that, qualified people to date. Now, ladies, be friendly. Oh my God. I don't know how many times I have had people tell me they would have talked to me, but they didn't know how to approach me because I always looked like I was mad at somebody. And I'm going to raise my hand because that's probably true. Okay. I'm not going to say it's not true. A lot of men would not even approach me because I always had a serious look on my face. I'm always serious about God, serious about carrying out his business. But a lot of times, and probably back, after my husband died, which is 10, 12 years now, I was still going through bereavement. And so a lot of times I always had a serious face, a serious look. I wasn't mad at anybody, but some of that joy, come on now, let's be free. Some of that joy was missing out of my life. I didn't smile a lot. I was just serious. I was started pastoring, so that was always on my mind. Women's ministry, my children, my grandkids, those were my priorities. Like I said, dating and all of that was not a priority. But it would have been good if it had happened. But I repelled a lot of men. I'm sure I did because of the, just, oh no, I can't even approach Reverend Ford, Pastor Ford, whatever. She looked like she mad at somebody. So a lot of times, lady, what am I saying? That we repel, we keep men from even approaching us in the church and outside of the church. All right. So, don't limit yourself to a narrow pool of potential partners. Be open to meeting new people, exploring different avenues. I already talked about joining. We talked about that dating site. We talked about attending a church event or a group, volunteering for a ministry or a cause, asking a friend or family member to introduce you. Be friendly. Be confident. Don't walk around with your head low. Don't disqualify yourself because you wound up in a marriage and the marriage ended in a divorce, and now you are raising your children, not one, but you might have two. You might even, just because you have one or two kids, don't think that disqualifies you from dating, from meeting a man. All right. And having the potential of developing a relationship into a friendship. Don't walk around defeated. Don't walk around with low self-esteem. Okay. You are somebody. All right. You are somebody. So be friendly, be confident and respectful, and show genuine interest in others. You never know who you might meet or where you might find love. Build yourself up, which brings me to, oh my God, I used to dress after my husband died, even before that, because I was in ministry and I was on the pulpit a lot. So when before now I was in ministry, okay, I love hats, Dr. Noreen. I love hats, and I could wear a hat. Okay, I wear my hat, big hat, small hat. I could dress. I thought I dressed well, and I had a shape, but 20, 30 years ago. So I knew that when I dressed, I looked good. All right. But then I got called into ministry, right? And so then I had to change. I changed my style. Okay. Dark clothes, brown, gray, navy blue, black, skirts down almost to my ankle, definitely below my knees. Okay. I went from the high heels to the small pumps to the wedge. And, I didn't stop wearing makeup, but, I looked like I was older than I was. Okay. Because life happens. So, I was preaching, I was ordained minister. Then I, started the church. And so I had to look the pastoral, had to put all of that on. Didn't have my hat anymore. Didn't have my little, my three-piece suit that came, below, just slightly below my legs, my knees rather. I changed my aura. And again, I had that kind of aura that was standoffish, so that men did not approach me. I didn't smile. Okay. I was very serious. So I disqualified myself. Okay. In meeting a lot of people in those 12 years, I disqualified myself because first of all, I wasn't excited about getting into the date because I never did that. I didn't know how to do that. That scared me. I did not know how to do that. But make sure that you exude confidence. Make sure that you dress respectfully. I see a lot. Oh God, I could see a whole lot on the pulpit. A lot of our single ladies. All right. Dress respectfully. You don't have to have all of this out. No, you don't have to have your dress so tight. You can see everything, the imprint of everything. No, that's not a way to draw a godly man. All right. You might draw some men's attention. All right. And there may be some men in the church that we would call them godly men. But guess what? They looking too. All right. They looking too. But have respect. Respect yourself. You know that song. Respect yourself. Have a genuine interest in others. You never know who you might meet. And you ain't gonna meet, and the person that you meet might not even be in the church. As I said before, we disqualify a lot of men, ladies. Okay, when I say they may not be in the church, I mean you may not meet them on the church ground. Okay, they are godly men. All right, men of God have a relationship with God, and they do go to a church. But you might, the day that you meet him, he might not be at the church on that day or in the parking lot at that day. All right, he might be on his job. Okay, you might have a clogged sink or toilet, and you call a plumber, and the plumber shows up, and that's him. But no, we want to disqualify because he's just a plumber. He's just here to listen. You just don't know. I'm just trying to help somebody. I had a friend that, and he was a carpenter. He was doing work. He was doing work on my house for years. Even after my husband died, there were things that I needed to have renovated and whatever, and he would fix those things, right? And so I had a friend that needed some work done at her house. So I recommended, this carpenter to this friend. And guess what, y'all? I don't remember how long it was, but I remember we had a meeting at my house, and it was in December. I think it was in the fall. I think it was in December. We were just having a meeting about the BFF, our Building Fruitful Friendship Conference that's coming up. She was on the committee, and she asked me, "Well, Reverend Ford, what are you doing July so and so?" I said, "Why, you getting married?" And she's like, "Bam!" Showed me the ring. I said, "What?" I said, "Are you serious?" It was the person that I sent over to help her fix her roof or whatever, did some work for her. She wound up marrying him. So you don't know. A lot of us would have just disqualified that carpenter. But do you know how valuable it is to have a carpenter or a mechanic or a plumber or an electrician? Y'all ain't saying that. So let me just sip my tea. We disqualify people. Okay. A coach that is, works at a high school. We disqualify people based on your on hearsay, based on what we know about the salary or the position, or they're not that, I don't know what you want to call it. Why would I want to marry a coach? Why would I want to marry a plumber? I don't know. We disqualify, Jose. I'm trying to talk to these women. We disqualify a lot of godly men, good men, because we're up here too high. But again, do you qualify up there to be that high? Do you qualify? You're trying to disqualify a lot of godly men, but do you qualify? Because it's okay. They looking for more than lips, hips, and fingertips too. They want to know, do you qualify to be someone I want to date and maybe potentially marry? Okay, it goes both ways. Fourth, it's essential to be honest and authentic about your expectation and your desire. I said that earlier. Don't pretend to be someone you're not or hide your true feelings or opinions. Take the mask off, ladies, Christian ladies. Don't hide. Don't be trying to hide behind this right here. Don't be trying to hide behind the Bible. You got your big cross. You speaking in tongues. But when the rubber meets the road, can you speak with one tongue and that tongue be honest and truthful and not fake and not phony? When you finish speaking in tongues, Can you speak in a tongue that gives honest answers? Okay. Honest expectations and desires. Don't fake it. No, it's no fake it till you make it. Because ultimately that man is going to find out who you really are. That woman is going to find out, dude, who you really are. Okay. Be yourself and let your personality and character shine. Let your personality and your character shine. Communicate clearly and respectfully and listen. That's why we got two of these and one of these. Listen attentively. You can find a whole lot by just listening to men's conversation. You can find out, brothers, a whole lot by just listening to the person that you're dating, to their conversation. You find a whole lot. And be empathetic, all right? Respect their feelings and their emotions. Well, you better be listening and having a whole lot of conversations, and not just on Snapchat or on Facebook. You better be having a whole lot of conversations. Don't play games or manipulate or pressure others. Be faithful, be loyal, be committed, and expect the same from your partner. And lastly, it is essential to be flexible and adaptable about your dating experience. Don't have unrealistic or rigid standards. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to date a plumber. You don't want to date an electrician. You don't want to date the cable guy. Stop it. All right. I said it. You don't know what their portfolio looks like. You don't know if they got rollover money in their 401k. You don't know if they own stocks or bonds. You don't know if they own land. Y'all don't. Okay, let me go on. You're rigid. Okay. You're judging too harshly or too quickly. Be willing to learn and grow from your mistakes. Forgive and forget the past. Don't compare yourself or your relationship with others, or let envy, watch this, or jealousy ruin your happiness. Because that same girlfriend, that same BFF, that same woman in that circle, you're telling them, oh, I can't date him because he's a plumber. Guess what? She listening to every word, because she'll date a plumber. Y'all ain't saying nothing. She will date a plumber. She will date a bus driver. Okay. You just giving her all kind of information about you setting her up. Y'all don't want to say nothing, but I'm going to take a sip. The person that you're judging, the person you're saying he don't come up to my standard, that's the same one your boo, your BFF will call on the side. All right. Give me his, they ain't gonna say, give me his telephone number. They ain't gonna say it like that, but they'll find out because you don't give them all the information anyway. All right. Don't be unrealistic. Don't be rigid. Don't judge too harshly or too quickly. Be willing to learn, grow from mistakes, forgive and forget the past. Don't compare yourself or your relationship to others, and don't let envy or jealousy ruin your happiness. Be grateful. Be content, be hopeful, and enjoy the journey of dating as a Christian. Enjoy it. Okay. Again, not all men, ladies, are merely interested, as Prophet Byron says, in lips, hips, and fingertips. They want to know what's underneath all of that. Well, they want to know what's underneath the head, the wig, the weave. They want to know what's under all them lashes, and you can hardly close your eyes. They want to know, besides you getting mani-pedis, what are you about? They want to know. Just like you want to know, ladies, they want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Before you say I do, I did a whole segment on before you say I do. There's some things that you need to get to know. And if you want to Google that, Creflo Dollar, before you say I do, because he has a plethora of things that people who are engaged in relationships, dating, need to know on both sides what you're getting yourself into before you make that ultimate commitment. But until then, ladies, be someone that qualifies to have a man. Okay. Be someone that qualifies to have a man. Man, be someone that qualifies to be with a woman, a godly woman. All right. A godly woman. All right. Now, the thing is, and I asked the question when I was, getting this information, and I already know the answer to this, by the way, Should Christian women date only Christian men and vice versa? My answer to that is yes. Yes, you should date someone. What the Bible says, don't be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. There's so much baggage there. There's so many things that can, break off when you're dating somebody that is not like-minded. All right. So for me as a pastor to say, oh, it's okay to date somebody in the world because he's rich, he got a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm not going to even tell you to, well, try it, because maybe, because you are a godly woman, you can bring him over to your side. But you already know he's not a godly man. You already know that. So why would you think that you could convert him? You ain't Jesus, and you ain't God, and you ain't the Holy Ghost. Leave that right over there. You already know he's not a godly man, and you want to date him or you want to date her. No. Be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. You ain't Holy Ghost. You can't change nobody. The only person you can change is yourself. When you look in that mirror, you and the Holy Ghost can partner together to change you. But you ain't trying to change a man. All right. They a grown man. You can't change you, and men, you can't change a grown woman. So if you already know she out there in the world doing whatever, leave them alone. That's my advice. That godly women and godly men should be dating. They qualify. Okay. They qualify to date. All right. Now, remember I said, set your priorities. What are your expectations? Are you just getting back in the dating arena? You just want to date casually? Then make that known. If you just want to date casually, but if you date with a purpose, then you got to let that person know, I'm dating for a purpose. And if you're on a dating site, then you can make that a criteria. You can drill down on that, and you can make that your faith can be your faith can be a deal breaker. All right. Dating for a permanent relationship, that can be a deal breaker, but you got to make it known. Date yes, ma'am, Sora. Date like-minded men and women. Keep talking and keep talking, because communication is important. Ladies, take the mask off. Don't hide behind this, because sooner or later, that man is going to find out who you are. Sooner or later, that woman, bishop, apostle, prophet, pastor, teacher, deacon, trustee, whatever you want to call yourself, man of God, don't hide behind this. Don't hide behind churchy words. Don't hide behind the pulpit. Oh, y'all don't like me today. Because sooner or later, that man or that woman is going to discover the real you, because you're going to unveil it yourself. You're going to tell on yourself. Keep talking. Keep talking. You got to talk. You can't just get on a profile and just talk like I'm talking here on StreamYard. You got to meet. You got to face to face. You got to meet. You got to talk. And be honest. Be upfront. What are you looking for? Okay. All right. So that's what we're talking about today. Number one was what? Set your expectations. Assess your motives. Why are you dating? Why do you want to date anyway? Is it to get revenge because your boyfriend left you? Are you dating because you just lost a loved one? You lost your husband, you lost your wife, you lost your boyfriend, and you just want to get back in the dating game? No, you're not healed yet. Because hurt people. So you have to think not just about yourself. You got to think about other people. You don't want to hurt people because you're not ready to get back in a relationship. Number 3 was throw out the list. Number 4, make sure you know your deal breakers. If they smoke, and I don't mean just cigarettes, crack, marijuana, whatever, they're druggies, alcohol, those you got to set your parameters. Those could be deal breakers. They abusive. Make sure you make them mad one time. Make sure you make them mad one time so you see how they respond. make sure you make sure that you do something, or you say no, something they want you to do. You say, especially if it's ungodly, you say no, then see how they're going to respond to that. Oh yeah, make them mad. See how they're going to react. Say no, see how they're going to react to no. Ooh, Jesus, I just said something right there. Decide on what you're, because if they got a hot temper, and if she throws things, if she cusses, see, that's a deal breaker, because I don't want to be married to date nobody that's cussing. I used to cuss, but when I got saved for real, when I went into the ministry, I stopped cussing. Okay, I stopped cussing. And I'd get delivered from a cussing demon, and I didn't really say really, really, really bad words. All right, but those are deal breakers. Yeah, deal breakers. All right, don't feel obligated. Don't worry about the one. Oh, I got to find the one. Oh, I got to find the one. Oh, New Year's Eve is coming and I don't have a date and I got to find the one. Girl, please test it out. You've been talking to a match and feel there's chemistry and potential. So now you need to meet up in real life. Dating apps can fool you. And don't keep score. All right. You might just end up with one person that you're a match with. Don't keep score. And don't even get upset if that one, is a dud. You find out it's a dud. He could wind up being a good friend. She could wind up being a good friend. Do what works for you. And the bottom line is trust the process. Trust God. Trust the process. And let me help you, because Dr. Byron Harden says this all the time. God does not pick your spouse. It does say a man that findeth a wife finds a good thing. It does say that. I'm not going to say it doesn't say that. But ultimately, in Christendom, there are more divorces than there are in the secular world. So God is not picking your spouse. That's why he gives you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? Because if he was picking spouses, he's not doing a great job, especially if there's more divorces in Christendom than in the secular world. That he leaves that job to you. But there are godly principles in this book that will help you find. Who can find a virtuous woman? Proverbs 3:30 or 31. All right. Who can find a virtuous woman? There are precepts, there are laws, there are principles in this Bible that will help you pick the right person. And it starts with dating. It starts with meet and greet. All right. All right. I hope I said something today to help you all. Because listen, the more I talk, the more I'm helping myself too. I'm not out there by myself. I'm helping all of us too. All right. You all have a good and a godly day. All right. Any questions? I'm trying to be as authentic as I can be. As I said earlier, I can't, it's hard for Christian women, especially women in the fivefold ministry, yes, to get on and be real transparent and authentic, because you all judge a lot. Y'all judge, you critique, you judge, and like I said earlier, when you start boasting about what you got and who you got and this and that and the other, you don't even know if that relationship is going to last. So why put it out there in public? Some things you just leave privately and you talk about it when it's all said and done. Okay. When it becomes a reality, then you can bring it to the surface. But until then, it's kind of difficult. But I try to be as transparent as possible, because I told you, I was not one of those people that was approachable, and I could have missed a whole lot of opportunity to date if that was really something I wanted to do. All right. If that was really something I wanted to do, but don't hide behind the mask. Whoop, take it off. Don't hide behind tongues. Don't hide behind your gifts. All right. Of the Spirit. Because come on. Yes, those things are profitable. They're profitable to the church. They're profitable to God. They may be profitable to a godly man. But that's not what brings him to you. Your tongues ain't bringing the man to you. Your gift of prophecy is not going to bring that man to you. It's your person. It's who you are on the inside that's going to draw the man of God or the woman of God to you. All right. It's not your gifts of the Spirit. And because, when the rubber meets the road, they really want the real you. They want the real you. They want to see the real. When you take all that lipstick off, when you take them eyelashes off, when you take the weave off, okay, when you take off that outer exterior, they want to date and come into a relationship with the real you. And sometimes the real you is disguised in tongues, in prophecy, in ministry, in prayers, and this and that and the other. And religion is clothed in religion when all they want to see is, well, who are you when the lights go out? Who are you when you leave the church ground? That's what they want to know. All right, I'm done. I've been here too long already this morning. All right, y'all have a good and godly day. This is Lydia Ford. I help people who are stuck. You might be stuck in the same place that we were talking about today. Okay. Stuck in loss. Divorce is a loss. Loneliness is a loss. And a lot of Christian women are lonely. And some men too, but mostly women. It seems like men can always find somebody to date. But yeah, those are losses that, we get stuck in. So all of my information is scrolling at the bottom. You can reach me directly on my Facebook page. You can DM me. If you are going through a loss and you're stuck there, know that your identity is not found in anything you're stuck in. Your identity is in Christ because he knows the plan and purpose for your life. You can go to my website and we can have a 30-minute free dialogue or free conversation about what you might be stuck in, because we all need help. I needed help. You see this smile? I didn't used to have this. See? And it's not fake anymore, okay? It's not fake anymore. But I had to go through something, okay? I had to take down the wall. Boop. All right. Got to take that wall down, ladies. Contact me today. We can talk. Get unstuck from anything that is holding you back and holding you down. It's getting ready to be 2024 and a few more days. All right. So maybe you didn't date last year. Maybe you weren't in a good place, but we're about to see a brand new day. It's about to be a brand new day. Ty Tribbett. We've been enduring for a night. Only one night, though. Joy comes in the morning, right? Yeah, I'm praying for you. You all pray for me. Hey, Greta. We've been indoors for a night, but it's only one night. All right. But that, you never know what you might discover in 2024. I'm going to help y'all get out of that facade that we like to wear, especially when we're around church folk. Yep. All right. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you on Wednesday. I don't know. We might talk a little bit more about this. We'll see what happens. All right. I'll talk about it on Wednesday. And then I'm going to take a vacation for a couple of days away from social media to enjoy my grandbabies. Okay. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. I love you all with the love of the Lord. Don't forget, I'll be back at 8 o'clock on Wednesday for another session of early morning tea. Bye.